There are so many lessons, though, in what, like that story you just told, that I don't want people on YouTube to miss. One, your great grandfather, who grew up poor, took a chance on himself, moved across the country to do something he was willing to learn even though he didn't know it. Like, so many people believe that just because they don't know how to do something, that means they shouldn't do it. But Torpedo Brown, Captain Brown, he said, I'm gonna move from Baltimore to Texas. Then he gets this job driving this nitroglycerin to these oil wells and dropping nitroglycerin down. What if, and I'm thinking to myself when you're telling this story, well, what if it hits a rock on the way down and blows up too soon? Like, there's so many things that could go wrong.
Yeah.
He did that from the time he was like in his 20s to like for 40 years. But when you said he put aside a part of his money, see, the ability to delay gratification is one of the most important critical components to be able to create wealth.
Yeah.
Your ability to say no to now so you can say yes to then. And so that was a mind-blowing lesson. All was understood the business stuff, and so he grew the business even more and tapped into this big vein of oil, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, this is an amazing story. And your grandfather sat you on his lap while he's trading stocks. Your dad teaches you how to run the oil company when you're in high school. I think far too many parents emphasize playing with their children and watching their children play, but at the expense of not teaching their children how to work and letting their children work with them so they can see what work life looks like, which is where they're headed.
Yeah.
So I there's so many, like, don't miss those lessons, right? Some of y'all are gonna be, well, yeah, he inherited oil. No, I guess he is rich. He inherited blah, blah, blah. But you inherited more than your parents had. It's not about how much you inherit, it's what you do with it. Don't squander the opportunities you have just because they're not the same opportunities somebody else has. So anyway, so that's some of the stuff I picked up on in that story. And you respected your father enough that when he called you in the middle of the night and said, I need you to change majors, you didn't argue with him, you just said, okay. So many lessons there.
Yeah, I was sleepy.